Hello and welcome. So today we're going to be talking about designer fragrances. I have a total of 5 designer fragrances that I want to share with you. Actually, one we could debate whether that house is really a designer house because they do have beauty products and they have fragrances, but it's not like they design, clothes or shoes or anything like that. But for the purposes of this video, let's just say that I'm going to be sharing with you 5 designer fragrances that have been released within the last couple of weeks and that I consider to be truly worthy of your attention. These are 5 fragrances that I cannot recommend highly enough, and I rarely come on here and tell you that I recommend all of the fragrances within a lineup, but I must say that I am very, very impressed. A couple of them are flankers, and you know how I've been lately with the flankers. It's just too many flankers, right? But I must say that I am so happy that I tried these two, because although they are flankers of fragrances that we're very, very familiar with and some of us love, they really are very, very special. The others are just unbelievably outstanding, and I had to come on here and share them with you. So let's go ahead and jump right in. But before we do so, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi, and I'm your fragrance concierge because I'm totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. I upload videos multiple times a week, and on this channel, we love to talk about all types of fragrances. So if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go. All right, so before we jump in, I did want to announce again that we are having a 20K giveaway. Yes, in case you missed our Saturday morning Chatty Scent Corner video where I did announce this giveaway, I am going to now provide the details of the giveaway. Please remember that if you're interested in participating, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, of course, follow me on Instagram because that's where we're going to be exchanging information to get you the prize if you're one of the winners. And of course, please let me know in the comment section of this video that you're interested in participating. Now, this giveaway, actually, we're going to have 2 giveaways, but each one consists of an international prepaid Visa or MasterCard gift card. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I was able to open it to all the fam members around the world, not just limited to the US and Canada. So this is going to be the giveaway. The first one will be a prize of $100 US, and the second one will be for $75. Now, I will be issuing these prepaid gift cards in, of course, US currency, but they should automatically convert to your currency just in case you don't live in the US. Now, please also note that you cannot use these gift cards at an ATM or redeem them for cash. They are truly a gift card that you can use to purchase anything you like, and of course, where there's a merchant that actually accepts these Visa or MasterCard prepaid gift cards. I will be announcing the winners in 2 videos this week, so please don't miss the videos this week. Anyway, thank you so much for being a part of our fam and for helping me reach this incredible milestone. Thank you and good luck. So the first fragrance that I want to share with you is the most recent launch from Dior, and this is Miss Dior Essence. And look at what a beautiful, beautiful bottle. It is absolutely stunning. So this is a fragrance, of course, that's a flanker from the original Miss Dior. And this has as the perfumer Francis Kurkdjian. Now, if you stay in tune with everything that's going on, he has been with Dior now for a while, and everything he releases receives mixed reviews, and there's been quite a bit of criticism. But I must say that, as I always tell you, I'm not into the drama. I'm here for the fragrances. And I must say that I really, really do enjoy this fragrance. And I think it is absolutely beautiful. And there is a different touch to it, right? So when we look at the original Miss Dior and all of the flankers through the years, this one, to me, I would describe it as romantic yet very, very modern, because to me, the Miss Dior scent itself is that of like a beautiful, flowy, romantic kind of vibe. But this one, while still having that original DNA, I must say also gives me like a very modern twist. not edgy, but romantic modern is how I would describe this flanker. So before I jump into the olfactory journey, I also wanted to let you know that what I found very interesting and what really pulled me into even trying this fragrance is that it has the note of black elder. Now, black elder is described as like the extract of elderflower, right? So elderflower is that flower that in perfumery at least brings like a honeyed, sweet, and at times even a tad spicy kind of quality to the fragrance. And that is a note that you definitely find in this fragrance and which I think has made quite a marked difference. In addition to that black elder, which is that elderflower extract, you also find a note of jam. And that jam note also opens the fragrance, making it very fruity and sweet. But let's talk in detail about the olfactory journey. So this is a fragrance that to my nose, on skin, and on paper, opens sweet, fruity with a touch of like a floral aspect to it. It's almost like there are florals present in the opening, but the florals are in the background and they are a tad faint. Now that faint quality of those florals is not going to last very long because as you continue in the journey, you are clearly going to pick up on a very, very strong presence of like white florals. Within the white florals, I clearly do pick up on the jasmine, and I don't pick up on anything else. I really just pick up on the jasmine, but I know that there's like a collection of white florals. I can't explain it, but the jasmine does definitely stand out. As the journey continues, and before you approach like midway in the olfactory journey, to my nose, the fragrance becomes sweeter and there's almost like a jammy touch to it. And it's very interesting because while they have not disclosed rose, I am picking up on like a hint of a rose scent within those florals, but still the jasmine will be at the lead. So at the dry down, you are going to get a scent that is floral, of course, which is the basic DNA of Miss Dior, but these florals have like a honeyed, jammy quality to them. I can't explain it, but that is what I get at the dry down. And there is a touch of fruitiness to it. And of course, there's the woody notes that are in the backdrop. But all in all, it's a very beautiful, romantic, but modern twist to what we've come to know as the Miss Dior DNA. I tell you, this is a fragrance that you, if you try it and you are, if you've always been a fan of the Miss Dior DNA, this is a fragrance that you really need to get your nose on because I know you're going to fall absolutely in love with it. Right now, I have to tell you, this one is my favorite. And last year, we did have a flanker that I really, really enjoyed and that I love. But this one, there is just something about it that, again, gives it like that modern twist, even though it's still a romantic and beautiful kind of fragrance. This is a very versatile fragrance that you can make a signature scent, but I find that to be the case with all previous flankers, including the OG. This is a scent that you could definitely make your signature scent, as you can use it in any season of the year for any occasion, day or night, any age. It has no oud and no musk. So I'm telling you, it's a very, very versatile fragrance. It also does perform very well because while it's not beast mode at all, it's really not beast mode, it does give me 7 to 8 hours of wear without my having to overspray or reapply the fragrance. I tell you, I think that this is a solid release coming out of the house of Dior. And I am telling you, Miss Dior Essence really brings something different to the table compared to all of the other flankers. Let us know if you've tried it and what is your experience with it. Are you enjoying it? Do you find that it still has that romantic vibe, but there's like a modern twist to it this time? Let us know. So the next fragrance that I want to share with you, I've been so waiting to just have this conversation with you because I am truly like jaw dropped at what they've done with this fragrance. Let's just talk about Dolce & Gabbana, and their latest is My Devotion Eau de Parfum Intense. Now, you know that we have the OG, which launched a couple of years ago, and then last year, I think it was the Intense. I do have them all, but I have not had a chance to compare them. I can bring that to another video where I compare those to this one. But I'm going to tell you right now that there's really no need for a comparison because this is a totally different fragrance. And let me just share with you the bottle because it's really, really beautiful. It's all, you know, as always, it has the same design. And I don't know if the camera can capture it, but this is like a soft pink hue bottle. It is absolutely stunning. Very, very beautiful, very like feminine, you know, very beautiful looking, very flowy. But let's just go back to the fragrance because this is totally different than the original and than the Intense, which was the one that was launched last year. This is a totally different fragrance. So to me, I would describe this as we've gone on a different path because I am telling you. But let's talk more about the olfactory journey. So My Devotion is described as a floral fruity fragrance and has as the perfumer Olivier Crest, which of course, you know, has done so many incredible fragrances for different houses. And this one is truly no exception because I am going to tell you that even though it is different, completely different than the scent profile that I'm used to, when I hear Devotion, I automatically think about that citrusy, lemony, you know, very, very strong. But that is not what I'm finding here. But I am loving it though. I am loving it. Okay, so this is what the house has to say about this fragrance. So My Devotion stands for self-driven passion, individual values, and the essence of what makes each person unique. And I have to agree. I really have to agree. And we'll touch more upon that when I talk about the vibe or the feel of this fragrance. So when it comes to the olfactory journey of this fragrance, I have to tell you that it opens with the note of pear blossom. So that is a note that brings to a fragrance a certain degree of airiness and definitely a fruity touch. So although in the opening, you know, you have that pear blossom and you also have blackcurrant, if I recall correctly, the opening is fruity, it is sweet, and it is definitely an opening that it's kind of airy. It's not citrusy, but there is an airy quality to the fragrance. And compared to all the others, like compared to the OG and even last year's flanker, the Intense, I find this one to be an opening that, number one, is very different, but it is also airy. And I am loving that because I know that many struggle with the fact that Devotion opens and it's a little bit overwhelming. To some, it's a little bit screechy with those citrusy notes bordering on zesty, but that is not what you're going to find in this one. This is a sweet and fruity opening that is also airy. So once you pass that opening, you are going to start to pick up on the florals in the fragrance. And to my nose, although if I recall correctly, we have peony and we have orange blossom, what I am picking up on the most is definitely the peony. Do I get the orange blossom? Yes, I do. But of course, the peony is in the lead, at least to my nose, on my skin, and on paper. As you approach the dry down, the vanilla that is present and that we've come to love and appreciate in this DNA intensifies. There's quite a bit of vanilla in this fragrance, and there's like a woody quality that as you approach the dry down will definitely make an appearance and will be there to the dry down and all throughout the wear of the fragrance. But that vanilla is definitely very present. I also want to let the fam members that are sensitive to ambroxan, I need to let you know that there is ambroxan in this fragrance. So this one may not be for you. But all in all, this is just an exquisitely beautiful fragrance at the dry down because you are going to get a floral, fruity fragrance where the florals and the fruity notes come together and blend very nicely. So it's not like one stands out more than the other. And you are going to get a very vanilla loaded kind of fragrance. Not necessarily that the vanilla is dominant because again, the blend of this one is just unbelievable. But you are going to get that floral fruity fragrance, which has quite a bit of vanilla on a backdrop of some woody notes. Now today, as I said before, I'm not going to focus on comparing this one to the original or to the Intense, which was launched last year. I will come back in another video and do that for you, but I can tell you that when we do that comparison, it's going to be like, well, this one is all about the citrusy notes and the vanilla. And in this one, it is really all about the florals and those fruity notes. And there's really like no real DNA that really brings me back to the original. It is just really, really interesting because the bottle is the original bottle, right? With the heart and everything is just, that the bottle hue is different, it's a different color, but for the most part, that's what it is. They've called it Devotion. They've called it My Devotion, but it's still a Devotion, and it's supposed to be a flanker. But again, this to me is a completely different fragrance. At times in the olfactory journey, I do pick up on the what I would call like a diluted version of the original DNA. But all in all, this to me is a completely different fragrance. I've been so looking forward to sharing that with you and to knowing if anybody else in the fam picked up this fragrance. Do you agree with me that this is totally different? So what's really going to grab your attention is if I tell you that this one now is my favorite, because while I do love and enjoy the OG and the Intense, I must admit there is a certain degree of screechiness in that load of citrusy notes that we find in those two. But here, everything is done exquisitely smooth and beautiful. I am absolutely loving this flanker. To me, this is a fragrance that you can pull any season of the year and it's suitable for all ages. It's a very versatile fragrance. You could probably wear it to the office or to any occasion, day or night. It has no oud and no musk, and it does perform very, very well because it does border on beast on my skin, because it does give me 8+ hours without having to overspray or respray, with a very strong projection during a little bit over the 2-hour mark. And it does have a good sillage that will get you compliments. This is a fragrance that does project and does leave a trail behind you. So you are going to get attention. Now, if we talk about the feel or the vibe that I get from this fragrance, this to me is a fragrance that screams that you are not afraid to stand out and be different. You know how, some people are considered like different, or you're in a group or you belong to a group, or even in your family and you're considered the one that's a little bit different. Well, this is a fragrance that speaks to being proud of the fact that you are different. This is a fragrance that will make you feel like it is good to stand out in a positive way for being different. That is the vibe that I get from this fragrance. Let us know if you've tried it and your thoughts. This next fragrance is... If I had to pick a favorite from this group, this one would be a high contender. But it's just that I'm telling you, these 5 fragrances are truly all exceptional. And the last 2 that I'm going to be sharing with you are just beyond surreal, in my opinion. But next, I want to talk to you about the latest from Miu Miu, and this one is Miutine. Now, let me show you this beautiful bottle because it is really, really beautiful. Very, very nicely done. So here's the thing about this fragrance. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you know that my favorite perfumer is Dominique Ropion, and he is the perfumer behind this beauty. But here's the other thing. So this is fragrance that does have florals. It does have different notes. It is very ambery, and we'll talk more about it in detail in a minute. But the thing about this fragrance is that although it is considered a floral fruity fragrance, to me, it has a very dominant strawberry note. And that strawberry note is not combined with any lactonic inducing kind of note. So it's truly like a fresh, juicy, sweet, luscious strawberry. And you know that I've been looking for that perfect strawberry note to show up in a fragrance for the longest time. And I must say I have found it. So if I had to describe this fragrance or give it a name, to me, this is like the strawberry dream made reality, right? Because this one is like the strawberry that I've been looking for. Now, this is a fragrance that does open very fruity. And as soon as you sniff it, you're going to pick up on that very present strawberry. And that strawberry is very realistic. It's sweet, it's juicy, it's luscious. It's like when you bite into a perfectly ripe, sweet, yummy strawberry. That's what you're going to get immediately in the opening. In the opening, you're also going to pick up on the florals, which when you pick up on that juiciness and fruitiness of the strawberry and then followed almost immediately with the florals, you are going to know that the fragrance is definitely floral fruity. And within the florals, although I pick up on several different florals, the one that takes the lead for sure in the opening is the gardenia. Now, the gardenia will be coupled with that strawberry all throughout the olfactory journey, at the dry down, and throughout the wear of the fragrance. The gardenia that you find in this fragrance is so beautiful. It is not dated. It does not give me that vibe of dated in any kind of way, or too overpowering or overwhelming or a bit too much. Oh no, it is just the perfect balance. The fragrance also does have rose in it, and I do pick up on the rose approaching the dry down, but the rose is not the star, at least not to my nose and on paper. The star here is definitely the gardenia. Now, as you approach the dry down, you are going to pick up on that vanilla clearly. There's not a ton of vanilla in this fragrance because there's a certain degree of airiness to the fragrance. Also, there's nothing really lactonic or too dense about the fragrance at all. But you are going to find that vanilla, and the vanilla is quite present, and there's a certain degree of creaminess that comes with it, and I think that it's courtesy of the note of patchouli, because I do pick up on that. But is the patchouli really, really present? No, the patchouli actually, to my nose and on paper, is a little bit faint. It is not about the patchouli. It is about those florals coupled with that beautifully done strawberry that I am loving. So at the dry down, you are going to have a floral, fruity, juicy, sweet fragrance that is quite ambery and with quite a bit of vanilla. Where none of those notes or accords take the lead in front of the other, the blend is just absolutely exquisite. This is a fragrance that I cannot recommend high enough. If you are looking for a true strawberry scent, this is your fragrance. Like, we have Burberry Her Elixir, which is a beautiful scent, but it is lactonic. This is a different kind of strawberry because this is like a fresh strawberry, fresh, juicy, ripe, sweet kind of strawberry. Now, in doing my research, I did realize that there's been some mixed reviews around this fragrance. And of course, if you have any doubts, get your nose on it first, get a sample, get a decant. But if you are into those notes, especially the note of strawberry, you have to try this fragrance because I am telling you, it is rather special. And while those mixed reviews are out there, I have to tell you that to me, this is a very refined and sophisticated blend. It's a beautiful fragrance that you cannot go wrong with. It does perform beautifully because it does give me like 7 to 8 hours without having to overspray or respray. It does have a strong projection during the first, I would say, 90 minutes. And after that, it does become a scent bubble that gets me through probably another hour. And then it does become a skin scent, taking me to that last 7 hour, 8 hour mark. No more than that. No oud, and it has no musk. It is very versatile. You can wear it for any occasion, for any season of the year. I don't necessarily think that it's best suited for like summer or anything like that. No, I really think that you could even make this your signature scent. Now, this is a fragrance that also does give me very much more of a feminine. Can I imagine a gentleman wearing this fragrance? Really not. I really think this is a feminine fragrance, but you know, wear whatever you want, how you want, and when you want, as I always tell you. When it comes to the vibe or the feel of this fragrance, to me, this speaks of like someone who, you know, has reached like an executive level at a very young age, and they are looking to project an air of elegance and sophistication without smelling a bit dated or too mature of a scent for them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That is what I get from this fragrance. There is a definite air of elegance and sophistication while not losing that young, modern spirit. Am I saying that this fragrance is best suited for like those in their 20s or 30s? No. Honestly, I think that any age can pull off this fragrance, but that is definitely the vibe that I get from it. Let us know if you've tried Miutine and your thoughts. One thing that I did forget to mention and that I wanted to bring to your attention is that in using Miutine, I have found a wonderful layering combination that I have to share with you because this is so worth it. And this is, the first thing is a perfume oil, and it's from Nest, and it's Santa Barbara Strawberry. I don't know if you've heard of this one, but this is absolutely incredible. First of all of the Nest perfume oils to me are absolutely incredible. I really own them all, and I layer it with different fragrances. But I found that layering this perfume oil with Miutine just takes that strawberry note to the next level, because this is very, very much all about a very fresh and juicy and sweet kind of strawberry. And another thing that I love to layer these two with would be the Santa Barbara Body Mist. So this is the Nest Santa Barbara Strawberry Body Mist, and this is the Nest Santa Barbara Strawberry Perfume Oil. So what I do is, of course, I take my shower, preferably with a body wash that has, that focuses on one of the notes that you find in Miutine. And I do have a strawberry body wash. Then I apply this oil all over my body just to reinforce that moisture and lock in that moisture. And then I apply this body mist. And after that, I apply Miutine. And let me tell you that takes that strawberry to the next level. You're going to be smelling like a fresh, juicy, sweet strawberry, in addition to the fact that you're going to get right around 8 to 9 hours of performance from this scent. Absolutely incredible layering combination. Of course, as always, I will have everything in the description linked for you, and I will have a discount code where available. But if you own Miutine, if you picked up Miutine, I highly recommend that you pick these two up. I just know you are going to fall absolutely in love with that layering combo. The next fragrance that I want to share with you, I have been just counting the minutes to publish this video, because this is just absolutely incredible. And this is the latest from Guerlain, and this is Shalimar L'Essence. And let me go ahead and share with you. So you see that big font. Many of us did not really like that font, but to be honest with you, I don't mind it. I'm good with it now. I'm really good with it. But this is an absolutely beautiful bottle as always. But let's talk about this fragrance. So this is a creation from Delphine Jelk, and oh wow, that is all I have to say about this fragrance. Wow, she really, really did this. Amazing, amazing fragrance. And if I had to describe this fragrance, I would call this the Guerlain gift. And I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. This is definitely a Guerlain gift, because this fragrance focuses, of course, on the vanilla note. Of course, that's what we've known this to be. But I tell you, there is quite a bit of vanilla in this fragrance. This is really all about the vanilla. It does have a powdery dry down, and we'll talk more about it. It does have a floral presence as always. There's some iris, some rose, if I recall correctly. But this is just a gift from Guerlain. Now, here's the thing about this fragrance. If you have, or if you've been looking to own at any point, like the Spirituose Doubla Vanilla, that very, very hyped and very worthy of hype and very incredible fragrance. And also, if you had wanted or were dreaming of getting the Vanille Planifolia 21, the extrait, those are all fragrances that I own. I am here to tell you right now that the vanilla that you find here is so reminiscent of those two fragrances. So that is why I call this one the gift from Guerlain, because while giving us this price point, they gave us their very best vanilla. And as you know, this fragrance was launched to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Shalimar. And I am telling you, they are celebrating all the way, and they gave us a gift, because this is an exceptional vanilla-centric fragrance at an exceptional price point. So this is a fragrance that, to my nose, on my skin, and on paper, opens with that vanilla, travels all throughout the olfactory journey with that vanilla. At the dry down, you're going to get that vanilla. Throughout the wear of the fragrance, that vanilla is just going to bloom on your skin. It is not a linear path at all. Don't get me wrong. It's just that the vanilla is so dominant and present and so exquisitely done that you are just going to focus on that vanilla. But at all that, there are some florals in this fragrance, and I do pick up on them. There's rose, there's iris. The iris does make the dry down powdery, not very powdery, but it is definitely powdery. The fragrance is sweet, but it is not like very, very sweet. It's not sickly sweet. It's not one of those vanillas. It's truly the signature, the Guerlain signature vanilla scent that some of us have come to absolutely love. That is what you're getting in this fragrance, accompanied by some semblance of a floral presence, but truly the fragrance is all about the vanilla. I love that this fragrance has no oud, and it does have a musk. The musk is like a level 3 to 4, where 5 would be the most and 1 would be the least. You are going to pick up on this musk, but the musk is truly not animalic, so you don't have to worry about its presence. The other thing that I absolutely love about this fragrance is that you are going to get a full day performance. I mean, this one is not a beast on my skin. It's really not, but it does give me 8+ hours, which is really, really good without me having to overspray or respray. It does give me a very strong projection during almost 2 hours. After that, it becomes a scent bubble for a couple more hours. And after that, it does become a skin scent, but one that allows me to sniff myself all throughout the day. So it does have a very, very good projection, and also has a very, very good sillage, because it does leave a trail of about 3 feet behind you for sure. This is a fragrance that is going to get you quite a bit of compliments, and people are going to want to know, what exactly are you wearing? Because if they are into fragrances, they're going to realize that it is a vanilla-centric scent, but there's also other things going on that will make them very curious. I tell you, this is a launch from Guerlain that you really don't want to miss. I know that some of you were not excited about the font in the front of the bottle because it's a very large, and they scrambled like the word Shalimar, and they had not done that before. But if you could get past that, I mean, I don't know, put on a sticker, put whatever you want to do, but you do not want to miss on this exquisite fragrance. And again, at this price point, I will leave a link to where you can pick it up. And I did publish this one. I did leave a community post, and I know many of you picked up this fragrance. Please let us know what you think about it if you've received yours. So this next and last fragrance is one of my current obsessions. This one I've had longer than the other 4 that I discussed with you today. And this is not the first time that I feature it on the channel, because it is that special to me. When I first heard about it, I did discuss it with you during a Saturday morning chatty scent corner, and I told you that I was going to blind buy it. Then it sold out at Harrods, and I had to wait, and I did wait, and finally I received mine. But I have to tell you that from first sniff, it was a deep, deep love. And this one for me is now a lifer. And I am speaking about Carolina Herrera, and this one is Cedar Chic. Now, take a look at this gorgeous, gorgeous bottle. Beautiful, beautiful bottle. Now, to me, the bottle is a reflection of the juice in multiple ways, because the bottle is very clean, it's very sleek, it's very elegant, it's very sophisticated, and that is what you're going to get from the scent of this fragrance. This is a perfume that evokes that elegance and sophistication that we've come to know Carolina Herrera for. There is no mistaking. She has her name and her signature all over this fragrance for sure, because it is an absolutely beautifully sophisticated fragrance. Now, this is a musk-based fragrance, and let's start with that, because the musk here is between a level 4 and 5, where 5 is the most and 1 is the least. It is between 4 and 5, if not a full-on 5, and it is a tad animalic. But I have to tell you that although it does have that touch of an animalic quality to it, that animalic quality only adds like character and oomph to the fragrance. This is not a beast mode fragrance in any kind of way, because in my opinion, this was really created more to be a clean, smooth, elegant, flowy kind of scent. And while it is not faint, it will definitely be present and make a statement. It is not beast mode. It does get me like around 7 hours, no more than that, unless, you know, if I overspray, but I have not oversprayed or resprayed this fragrance when wearing it. I just take my 7 hours. And if I want to wear it longer than 7 hours, then I would just have to respray. But this is more of a 7-hour performance fragrance with a very strong projection during, I would say, the first 90 minutes. And after that, it does become a skin scent. But this is definitely a fragrance that will make you feel absolutely beautiful and will get you quite the number of compliments. So it is very important for you to know, in case you're not into aldehydes, that this is a fragrance that opens up with a load of aldehydes on a backdrop of like some citrusy notes where you're clearly going to pick up on the bergamot. That is what I pick up, but it's like citrusy notes in the backdrop of that very, you know, loaded with aldehydes opening that actually when you sniff the fragrance, you're going to open your eyes bright because it opens up very bright and citrusy. As the journey continues, you're going to pick up almost immediately on the orange blossom. Once you pick up on the orange blossom, it will be there throughout the olfactory journey and throughout the entire wear of the fragrance. So orange blossom must be a note that you truly enjoy. Now, is the orange blossom here very sweet, very sticky, or very, you know, kind of cloying? Or no, it's really not, because this fragrance is all about that smoothness. It is an impeccably done blend that is designed to flow and be smooth. Again, elegance and sophistication. Now, at the dry down, you are, of course, going to have a very, very musky, clean fragrance with a presence of florals, a tad of a citrusy quality to it on a backdrop of some woody notes that definitely add oomph and character to the fragrance. But at all, this is one that you could wear any season of the year, in my opinion. I mean, most would say that this is spring and summer. For me, this is signature scent worthy. This is just beautiful. You can wear it for any season of the year, for any occasion, day or night. I say all ages. Again, an incredibly done fragrance, which is why I'm featuring it yet again. Get ready to see it a lot because this is truly, truly special. If you've tried it or if you picked it up, or just let us know what you think about it. Let us know if you agree with any of what I've said. Have you had a different experience? Because that will help us all. All right, fam. So we've reached the end of today's video, and I hope that this was enjoyable for you. I have to tell you that these 5 fragrances to me are truly all worthy of you at least trying them. I think that you are going to be so impressed with all of them. You're going to like not be liking me very, very much because you're going to want to put them all on your wish list and you're going to want to pick them up. I am really looking forward to getting your opinion if you do try any of them. And I am certainly, as always, thanking you for hanging with me today. Remember to leave in the comments if you're interested in participating in the giveaway. And as always, I will see you all in the next video.